Welcome. We live?
We live. Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Deborah Jenkins.
And I'm Tony Lindsay.
And we are the host of Black Talk Platform
and Community Town Hall. Welcome to this special edition.
Welcome to the special edition. This is our first collaboration like this, and we're excited because I am frequently a panelist on Tony's Community Town Hall, and he has been my guest several times on Black Talk Platform. We share so much energy around uplifting the work of young people. And so when we heard about this young man out of Albany, Georgia. If you never heard of Albany, Georgia before now, you're about to learn about Albany, Georgia and the good work going on down there with King Randall I.
Is it the first?
Is it the first?
It's the first. It's the first. Yeah, baby, got a baby king.
Okay, so we're going to get this right. We are introducing to some and presenting to others King Randall I. We love it. And we're going to get it started. I'm going to turn it over to my partner tonight, Tony Lindsay.
Well, yes, a lot of you guys, you're probably familiar with this young man from a recent interview that he did with Roland Martin on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And while we know that interview didn't go too great, we don't want to focus so much on the negative. What we want to do, in contrast to what happened in that interview, is we want to provide a platform for this young man to truly introduce you to what he's doing out there, the hard work that he's doing out there on the ground, and we want to be able to lift him up. Far too often the image of young Black men is always painted in a very negative light. So what you already know how we do here at Community Town Hall and Black Talk. So when it comes to our young people, we want to give them the same energy that we give all the negative imagery. We want to give that same energy to the positive imagery. So we want to welcome you here, brother. And how are things going since this interview? I know you were doing things kind of quiet.
It's a little hectic.
Then things just took off.
Yes, sir. It's a little hectic for me. Trying to manage all the emails and the DMs, and I got an assistant and everything, and it's still thousands of people, trying to reach out, which we love, but we also don't like at the same time because we want to reach out to everybody that's trying to, show support and offer their services and, offer to, help out with the boys here in Albany, Georgia. But the support has been overwhelming. It's just beautiful to see, especially since we've been doing this work, for about 2 years now, and I've been doing it out of my home. So it's been beautiful to see where we're headed now. And that interview, it's just God does everything for a reason. That interview actually happened about 2 weeks ago, but it just now got some fire.
And it just aired now recently.
No, it aired about 2 weeks ago, but Dr. Boyce Watkins got a hold to it. Somebody sent them the video, and he did it was about Sunday at about 3:00 in the morning, and he did a live video, and it went viral on YouTube. And people started trying to come find me, and then ever since then they took that clip and posted it online, and it's been everywhere ever since.
So thank you, Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Yep, he started all of this. He called me, and we had about a 3-hour phone conversation, and we did an interview, and he started all of this.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I participate on some of his panels as well. He's a good brother, and he's always B1 Black First. So
sir.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is pretty much, could you give people, in a minute or 2, 3 minutes, whatever, a breakdown of exactly what it is you do? Because not everyone knows completely the story of what you did. Because honestly, I'm blown away. Like, you've been putting in this work since you were like 18, 19 years old, and you're only 21 right now?
Yes, sir.
Well, please let us know what the X for Boys is, because I don't think that's the school, right? It's something else. Go ahead, if you can break it down.
Right. So the X for Boys is our organization, and the school would be called the Life Preparatory School for Boys. So I started this organization in 2019. The Ace for Boys is an organization that teaches young men ages 11 to 17 skilled trades, working on cars, working on houses, such as changing alternators, brakes, water pumps, any little thing, even just how to change a tire. And also we do just basic construction, like how to change light fixtures, how to change, different sheetrock, you name it, just any little thing for construction. We try to make sure we teach the boys. And then also we have a reading literacy program. We have a book club because I noticed a lot of children in our program couldn't read when they first got here. And so my first year doing my summer camp, I had 20 young boys come to my house every day from 8 to 5 when I was 19. They came here every day. Their parents dropped them off. They trusted me with what I was going to be teaching them. And I noticed 12 out of 20 of them couldn't read efficiently. So that kind of upset me. And I'm just like, how are you guys passing through school and you guys can't read or write? That doesn't work. I don't see how that's playing out. So of course I told the boys, previously that I was going to open them a school one day. I said, we're going to open the school. We're going to buy a school. However we're going to do it, we're going to have some big boy faith and we're going to make it happen.
Right.
So fast forward to summer 2020, COVID happened. And I had to pause everything that was going on with our organization because everything was in person, obviously. So I had to pause everything. And with that being said, a lot of parents, requested that I keep doing stuff. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to do stuff? I don't know what's going on with the virus. So I told parents that the children were going to have to come live with me if I was going to keep doing something. So they was like, okay. So I went and bought some bunk beds. I put them in my living room and the boys slept in my living room. I had 7 boys. They stayed at my house for the entire summer of 2020. And at the time I didn't have a lot of fun. So, some days we eat noodles, sandwiches, and $5 hot and ready pizzas, but we made it happen because we believed in what we were doing. And I was trying to make sure they got some good teaching. So fast forward after that, I took another round of children, 7 more boys after the summer program. And these children were still out of school because school hadn't opened back up yet because of COVID. So I was still taking care of those children. We were still teaching them the skilled trades, teaching them how to grow food in the garden, just any little thing that we could possibly teach them. And they're changing their lives. I started getting children from juvenile court system because we don't have any rehab programs here in Southwest Georgia for juveniles coming out of jail. So it's kind of like they're going there and back. But our program, ever since we've been getting children from jail, has a 0% recidivism rate. Every child that comes to us from jail has never been back. And that's something that we love to tout because that's important.
The court they basically release custody of these children to you?
Yes, sir. I have custody of 2 of my children. They're here right now.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, look, we're not usually at a loss for words because we do this all the time. But I tell you, and people are already in the chat loving you and what you're doing. And
yes,
we brought you on here. Oh my goodness, he done called me ma'am, y'all. Y'all see that, right? I'm ma'am, right? But my son is your age, so that works. Listen, we know, and let me craft this right, not to be politically correct, because everyone who knows me already knows that that's not me. We know that you've come under criticism, that you have not been respected for the work that you're doing. That, get this, everybody, no one else is doing. He's actually putting in the work. And we're not here to keep gates around what he's doing. We're here to affirm the work he's doing and to try to support the work that he's doing. I have some of my young people watching because I want them to dream. I want them to do. And I hope you all didn't miss what he said. The parents wanted him to continue working with their boys during COVID. What did he do? Without knowing exactly what to do? Okay, y'all got to come and stay with me. How many people do that? This is a young man that we can all take a few notes from. And I'm just so pleased to have you here. We've been discussing you all week. We've been discussing you all week.
Yes, ma'am.
But one thing that, and Tony, don't let me speak for you if I'm not in the right neighborhood. Yeah. We're not going to allow you to be disrespected, at least not here.
That's right.
What we're trying to do is build you up. And even, guess what? Have some reciprocal learning here. You learn from us, we learn from you. How's that?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. I always got to be ever learning, always a student. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
That's something that I got to tell you, brother. There's a couple of things about you that I really like. One, you are so humble and respectful in the way that you do these interviews and the way that you engage people. And I think that's something that really should be noted. And also, I just got to be honest with you. You remind me a lot of me when I was your age. I mean,
yes, sir.
I'm 40 something, you know, but you know, like we have a lot in common because I heard you speaking. I don't remember who you were speaking. Maybe it was Boyce or someone, but you were talking about like, you know, when you lost your job, you know, you went and got some clippers and you learned how to cut hair. Brother, that's how I started. Listen, I was cutting hair. You know, I was doing carpentry. I learned how to be an electrician, plumbing. So, you know, I like the fact that you focus on self-sufficiency. You know, they say like if you ever have a skill or a trade, especially something with your hands, you'll never go hungry. So I think that's very important with what you're doing with those young boys out there, because you know, we know that college is an option, but we also know that sometimes college, it can still leave you without a job. It can still leave you in a position where you're inundated with debt. So I like what you're doing. I really respect what you're doing. Now, I just want to ask you, just to get it out of the way. All right. We here on this platform, on both platforms, we are all about being Black first. We are all about doing what's best for our community. And that means that we don't focus. I mean, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is, because I think at the end of the day, as long as we prioritize doing what's best for our community on the ground, that's what matters most. So I just want that to be clear. Now, I know you said you're not a Republican, and I know you say you're not a Democrat. Neither am I. I know you say you identify as conservative. But I also heard you say that I guess you're Black first, right?
Absolutely.
So can you give us a clear picture of your politics? And I understand, listen, brother, you're still young. So not to say that you don't know what you're doing, but I also understand, like, even me at my age, I understand that I'm always evolving. I'm always learning. And I'm always welcome to additional points of view. But give us a better understanding of your politics, just so we
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, I'm definitely not a Republican or a Democrat. Malcolm X taught us that one party is buying you with a smile, the other one's buying you with a growl. Either way, you're still being bitten. So my thing with that is I call myself conservative because I think all Black people are conservative by nature. They just tied that word with white Republicans. They've always done that. But I always tell people I believe in conserving our family, conserving our traditions, conserving what we believe in, what we do on a daily basis, conserving our families, etc. Even conserving manhood, conserving femininity, etc. That's what I believe in. Conserving Black love. That's what I believe in. Conserving all of that we all believe in. But again, it's what they taught us, you know, that word means now. But honestly, most of us are conservative. We don't agree with half of this stuff that's going on, like giving our children puberty blockers and all that goodness that y'all new president is trying to push through. But I'm just like, but it ain't Trump though. But you finna let these people take your children away if you don't allow your child to change genders. This is an issue, you know. So I'm just like, we have to look at these things instead of what people giving us on TV all the time and really pay attention. But I don't really get into the whole politic thing because people get that. They get a little too sensitive on that topic, you know, and I stick to working with my children. Like I said, I'm conservative. I believe in conserving our family values. I believe in conserving our manhood, believing in conserving femininity, you know, all of that, because that's what we believe in. That's what granddad taught us. That's what grandma taught us, you know, so we got all this new stuff going on and it's causing our communities to go down the drain.
Well, Tony, I don't know how much we need to say. He's just really saying it all, because I'm going to check mark everything he said. And I am conservative on all of those points that he just made. I make no apology for it. That's everybody who knows me knows that I'm unapologetically Black. And just like this 21-year-old person, young man said, everybody, gatekeepers, y'all know who you are, and we know you're watching, but you're not going to really say anything. And that's okay. Just keep watching, because you might learn something. That's what Sarge said to Dressa in the 5 Heartbeats. If you don't know that, introduce your boys to the 5 Heartbeats, because there's some gems in there too. But we have to learn how to listen to the voices of the youth. If a 21-year-old can say, when I look in the mirror, I want to preserve my Black manhood, And then I have a school for young Black men, and I know, and you need to stop me when I'm putting words in your mouth, King. And I know that if I don't raise them the right way to want to preserve and conserve who they are as Black men in a society that tells them all the time that they're not good enough. But the one thing that they can be sure of is that they are Black men and they come from royal stock. If I send them out of my school without transferring that knowledge to them, then I have failed as an educator to those same young Black men. If I tell them it's okay for you to get puberty blockers, then I failed them because they are desiring to be who they have not been made to be. We don't have to go along with everything a party tells us to do. And I fear that we become too caught up in either party.
Absolutely.
We feel that we have to choose sides. And I think it's really good that at this young age that you have that level of wisdom to understand that it's not about choosing sides. It's about clearing your own path. See, that's what it is, about finding your own direction. So I'm really impressed, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be able to, even speak to you, young brother, because
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
It's a great example for not only the old heads like myself out here, but it's an excellent example for our younger generation. I think the more you guys abandon the hyper partisanship and you really focus on doing the work, that's something that needs to be celebrated. So we want, we also want to congratulate you. We heard that you had some really good news today. Tell us about the support you've been getting.
The support has been overwhelming, honestly. I mean, so many celebrities have reached out. Rihanna, she followed me and she sent me a message and said she want to come see the school.
Go Riri.
Yeah, she said she want to come see the school one day. So I told her just let me know whenever she's free and I'll give her a full tour. But yeah, so that was epic for us. Our community has been getting behind us. Our car dealership just gave me a new car today for free, so that was great. But like I said, the support has just been overwhelming. It's been crazy, and I just try to conduct myself accordingly when I do these interviews and stuff, because my boys are always watching. Sure, I could have gave Mr. Roland, a few words, but I have my children watching, and I'm just like, I got to show you guys how to operate like a man, and then I can show you how God made that work. So that's my thing. But I just let him, do his thing, and God made the rest happen for me. And, he's suffered from that. He's still tried to make other little posts about me and things like that, but I don't talk back to him. I'm just like, I'm gonna keep arguing with my work. So I posted another video of work that I've been doing, because I'm not arguing with anybody that commentates. You only commentate. I do the work y'all talk about. So that's my thing.
Are you real? What's going on here?
Where have you been all of our? And I mean, look, wait, Tony, wait. We're gonna shout out the young people in our midst. They're looking, and they're what you're saying is resonating with them. One of the young men just agreed with you also, Drizzy, who's a part of this the community town hall.
Where can I find this chat? Is it on? It's on Facebook.
You should be able to see it right now.
Wait, you should see it right here in the comment section of what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it right here. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Everybody over there, they're loving what you're saying. They're supporting you. But I just wanted to point out the two youngest ones I see here, Drizzy Dre. You see him. And you're right, Dre. Most Black people are conservative ideologically. What we do is allow the politics of it all.
Yeah, the wordplay.
To interfere and make us bite our tongues about the things that we don't like, but we go along with it because there's a boogeyman in the room, right? The former guy was
our values as well. I think we compromise our values
absolutely
because we're seeking acceptance, and that's the problem. This low, just what Dre always says in Heart Town Hall. It's like Black people. It's like we seem to have this low self-esteem that makes us feel like we have to be accepted by the dominant society all the time.
I don't like that. Like, even with these Grammys and Oscars, I don't care about winning y'all award. So what? I'm just like, we know we the best. Well, why don't we acknowledge ourselves as the best? We had this whole thing, Oscars so white. Okay, cool. Create another Oscars and be quiet. Like, I don't have time for that nonsense. I'm just like, I ain't trying to. So what? I mean, it is what it is. I don't care about the awards. I care about award myself. So.
Right. Exactly.
That's right. Create our own, brother. You are speaking it.
Yeah. Let me
you
also
21.
Yes, sir.
When's your birthday?
July 26, 1999.
Yep, same year as Jason. And Latrell Antonetti, I'm sorry, Jermaine. He's also another young person here, and he's saying we must conserve and protect our Black men. Let me tell you, this is a young man who is in my community. He works along with me and my son. I was talking to you about him today, and I just told him, get on this because we're going to plan a trip down to, if you invite us anyway, to come down there on a, I call them an evangelistic trip, and not the come down there and preach, but for us to find out and replicate back up here in New York, because this young man.
I'm sorry. What part of New York are you?
We're in the city. I'm in the Bronx.
Brooklyn. She's in the Bronx.
Brooklyn. I'm in the best borough.
I was just in Brooklyn for about 7 days, about 2 weeks ago. I was there shooting the HBO special with comedian Sam J. Okay. Yes, I was up there in Brooklyn for about a week.
Yeah, I heard some of the comments you made, brother. I mean, I live in Brooklyn too. So now this is one of them. This is one of those moments now.
Yeah.
Now listen.
It was wild.
One of the greatest things I hear you say is that we have to do for self, right? We have to take accountability and responsibility for our communities. I agree with that. However, sometimes in the conservative point of view, there's a sense of a denial that systemic oppression exists. So and this is just, brother, you could accept it or reject it, but it is a small piece of advice for you moving forward. And I don't think you intentionally would ever do it, but I just want you to be careful about ever dismissing the real systemic oppression that Black people go through in this country.
Of course, absolutely.
Right, because it does exist. But what else? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about you, because you talk about, all right, cool. We know that's what's happening. What's next? So
it's my thing is just learning how to play with the cards you got dealt. And I'm just like, okay, I get that's happening. Like even with our school system and stuff here, I get that it's happening, but what can I do to fix it? I don't have time to worry about, okay, I know it's there. I know it's there. I know it's there. I'm like, okay, let us do something to fix it. That's my thing. I'm solution based.
Instead of waiting for somebody else to fix it.
Exactly.
Let's fix it ourselves.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I happen to believe in the doing both and right.
That's
so definitely let's lead with the solution. In the green room, we'll get into that conversation and share it with the audience in a minute, what the three of us were speaking about when we were back in the green room. But when I think I heard you mention, I don't know, I think it was with Dr. Boyce about Black Wall Street. Somebody had posed that. Don't you remember? So somebody, and if I'm getting this wrong, please correct me. Someone has said, but you know what they did to Black Wall Street. In other words, it came off like they were trying to scare this young man out of doing what he's doing. Is that right?
Am I right? Absolutely.
They were trying to scare him away from it based on what white people did to our people in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, if you all don't know the story. But then there was also Rosewood. And so your answer was, this is not something to the effect that this is not Black Wall Street. And you're right to a degree, but if we can give you something that happened just 35 years ago in Philadelphia with the MOVE bombing, are you familiar with that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And a lot of people may not be. MOVE, they were a group of people. They were Black mostly, and they were in Philadelphia. They had a couple of homes, and they did not match the ideal because they were getting a groundswell. It's the same story, just up north, right?
All of that.
And let me tell you, at that time, the mayor of the city was a Black man. His name is Wilson Good. Am I right, Tony?
Yeah.
And anybody who knows better than I, just put in the chat, and I'm happy to correct myself. But this was just 35 years ago, and these people were bombed. And they had children in the home. And so when I think about Black Wall Street, it is something that I remember. I remember Rosewood, but I don't want anybody to forget that they're still doing stuff to us right now. And so, yes, let's keep moving forward and building schools like you've done. But we have to at least give that history, pass on that history to these young men so they'll know that if they leave Albany, Georgia, and they come to New York, guess what? They're going to find that we have the same racism. It just covers its face up here, you know.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Malcolm talked about that quite often. A big studier of Malcolm, and he's talking about, you know, how it's down in the South and how it is in the North. But definitely people seem a lot nicer, you know, up there, but also a little bit more mean too. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, like, because, you know, down here in Georgia, like, everybody speaks to each other. Like, we go to the store, like, everybody speaks, you know. So I'm in New York and I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Or
they ice grilling you. They looking at you crazy.
Like, what you speaking to me for? You know, it's just like, oh, I forgot I'm up here. Y'all don't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I love it when I go down south because everybody's so friendly. You know, that charm. You know, that's where I'm going to end up. So you know what? I would like for you to tell us, like, who do you listen to? Like, who advises you? Who is your motivation? Who inspires you?
I would definitely say probably gonna be Dr. King, of course. And of course I listen to a lot of Malcolm X and a lot of our leaders. The only reason I listen to so many leaders is because I try to make sure I look at all the mistakes that they made and then not make those same mistakes, which can make me better. One of the biggest mistakes I believe a lot of our civil rights leaders made was not training any replacements. That's a huge issue for me. And that's what I try to do now, because a lot of people are just like, oh, King, you're so great. You're just 21. I'm just like, no. Wait till my boys turn 21. They're going to be bad. You think I'm bad? My boy's going to be bad. You know, so I'm just like, they're going to be awesome. You know, and I just want to make sure we're creating, you know, a way for all the boys to be better than I am, you know. So I'm constantly developing myself all the time because I want to make sure that they're going to be greater at my age than I am, you know. So I just want to make sure that I'm studying every leader that I possibly can, whether it be Barack Obama or Dr. King, Marcus Garvey, whoever. I have all of their books. I study books by the enemy too, because I want to know how they think, you know. That's just a lot of studying that I do. But of course I have a council of elders, you know. I consult. They call and spank me if I make a post that I ain't supposed to be making or something like that, you know. Just you know, I have, you know, a consultation, you know, with my elders. I don't believe I'm an adult yet. I believe you're an adult when you turn 25. That's when the decision making part of your brain is finished developing. So I still call my mom for different decisions and stuff like that because I ain't there yet, you know. I still don't have a lot. I have wisdom, but I don't have a lot of wisdom, you know, in certain areas. Some wisdom is going to come with experience. So that's kind of my thing for me, but definitely studying leaders. But I got my mom and my stepfather and my former stepfather, you know. These are the people that helped me. So
you have a tight village.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
That's really great. And those are some of the people that we study too. And I'm glad you put Marcus Garvey in there because he just doesn't get the recognition from our community that I believe he should. But nevertheless, he is available for everybody to study and to know that you are. That's a wonderful thing. And I'm glad that you have a council of elders. Did y'all hear that? That's important. He has elders who he go to. There, one of my favorite people to listen to, I'm just going to interject this real quick, is David Banner, right? And one of his mentors is down there in your state. His name is C.M. Moody, I believe. He has a construction company, and it's a multi-million-dollar construction company. But David Banner often speaks about speaking to Mr. Moody, who will do the same thing as your elders do for you to him, because sometimes when we are out there, young or old, we have to be pulled back. My sister, she's watching right now. If I say something that's a little bit too cheeky, she's gonna let me know. She'll text me real quick. And so we have to have those who we are willing to continue to listen to. I just wanted to pull in some of the comments because you guys are great watching the show.
Before you go though, there's actually, this is one of the comments. It's a question. Can we know, how did you get started in this kind of work exactly? It's like, what was the impetus? Like, what was it that made you just say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Well, at one point, Albany was #1 in crime per capita in the country. And then also we've been at one point the 4th poorest city in the nation. We make a lot of the bad list. Every time something comes out, like something just came out, we got the lowest paying jobs. Like we numbered something on that list out of the United States. Like we always, everything bad that comes out, like even when COVID came out, we were literally #2 in the world, right under Wuhan. Literally at one point we were #2. We had a super hot spot of COVID. Like everything's always bad when it comes down to Albany. Dr. King came here. He failed here in Albany. He said he'd never return after he went to jail. Like, we have so much, you know, that has happened, you know, here in the city of Albany. So looking at where our boys have gone and looking at nobody being in their lives, no rehab facilities for these children, etc. I decided that, you know, after going to many different community meetings and nobody really wanting to put in the work, etc., you know, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to start something on my own. So I started doing oil change workshops. I simply made a flyer on my phone. I went and brought these flyers to different football practices, etc.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, but I brought these different flyers to like football practices, basketball practices, and I asked the coaches, you know, to give them to the parents and stuff to bring their children to the different workshops that I was teaching. I just went straight on the ground and started doing it. I sent the flyers to the churches, etc. Then I started doing field trips. I charged parents $20, you know, just for their ticket to get where we were going and to pay for their meal. So that way we could go to different museums. We've been to almost all the museums in Alabama. We've been to all the museums here in Georgia. We've been to Cincinnati, etc. I did all these field trips with the boys. But I just kind of just started just basically off me wanting to do something.
Really?
And so even though I didn't have much, I still made something happen. That's, you know, and I tell people that all the time. I'm just like, you can do something. I mean, you can't handicap yourself. You can do something, you know, even if it's just taking a child every day after school and, you know, giving them wisdom, go take them to get something to eat, you know, and take them home, you know, just any little thing, you know, to help develop our community. So that's my thing.
No, that's great. And, you know, man, Black people have historically always been able to make something out of nothing anyway. And when it's time to put in the work, we put in the work. And I think that's a message it's a universal message, honestly, that hard work and drive to get things done. And I think you're going to have a wide range of support. You know, I know you got conservative support. I mean, you got, would you say you have like liberal, all different types of,
my support is literally like a mixture of everyone, literally. And that, but yeah, our it's a lot, you know, it's a lot. So I think like last night on my Instagram, I had told everybody, I was like, look at these comments. I'm just like, look at these comments. I mean, it's so many different people in the comments. I was just like, look at these. It's Confederate flags in there, MAGA people. Then we got the RBG and the Nation of Islam and Hebrew Israelites. Because I have, you know, ties with everybody. Because when I did the I Am a Man march in January 4th, 2020, man, we had the Hebrew Israelites there. The Nation of Islam was there. I mean, I always had support from everybody because you can't not love the mission. It's just simply working on your community. And I'm like, that's where we at. You know, I'm like, we have to work on our community and make things happen. So I'm just like, can't nobody disagree with it. I mean, regardless of your political ideology, you have to make sure you understand that you're just working in your community. Do something positive, and then we can do the politics later.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's true.
We can all get behind.
Absolutely. I just want to pull in some of the comments because, again, I say we are appreciative of everybody being here. I just want to, let me see, did I pass any? To that question about your supporters, Brother Cardell Brown said, watch those offerings and gifts that come with strings attached. Most are genuine, but some are not. And that's like a second part of the question Tony asked, like who are your supporters? Because certainly politicians will come, anybody, because we all have agendas, right?
Of course.
Our agenda tonight in having you here is to give you a platform where you're not being judged, where you're not being slapped on the hand, where you're able to share exactly what you're doing, right? But somebody else may have an agenda, like, you know, in New York, this is a big political season for us. So if you see a politician of any party coming and trying to throw a lot of money at you, you have to ask, what do they want, right?
Be careful, brother. It's coming. It is coming. You know, so you just got to look out for it. You know,
absolutely.
And one thing, I like the fact that people are doing so many things for you. You know, you got a car. I think that's great. But and there are going to be people that are going to try to paint a negative picture of you because of that. But the fact of the matter is, if you're out there doing the work, there's no reason why you should not, you know, receive gifts as assistance or anything like that. I think a lot of those people that criticize, they're just upset because you're getting it, because a young Black man is getting it. And we're used to, you know, young Black men being seen in another light. So if you can, I would love for you to let everyone know how we can support you. Where can we go? What are your donation links and all of that information? And we can put it in the chat.
Yep.
Right, absolutely. Well, our website is thexforboys.org. That's THEXFORBOYS. We got the on there, but yeah, it's thexforboys.org. Everything is on the website. Ways to donate, all of our videos, all of our pictures, everything that you need to know about the X for Boys is on the website.
Okay,
is that correct?
Yep, our merchandise is on there as well. Anything that you want to see is all on the website. Social media pages, everything.
You got a Cash App or Venmo?
Yes, sir. It's on the website. It'll be on if you click the donation thing, it'll show the Cash App, the Venmo, our mailing address, as well as our PayPal link.
Okay, we're running out of time. We'll probably have just 2 or 3 more questions.
Okay, no worries.
One question I have for you though is, where do you see this going? Whether it be 3 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like, do you want it to just like stop at this one school? Are you trying to expand? Tell us what your vision is.
So the school that we purchased from our school system is 36,000 square feet, 25 classrooms, 11 acres. And we purchased this from our school system. It was up for demolition. Our school system has 2 other buildings that's up for demolition. And if they don't demolish them within 6 to 12 months, we're going to go after those locations too. So that way we can have maybe 3 schools in the city of Albany. So that's one of my big things, making sure, we're affecting as many boys as we can in our city. We want to remain grounded in Albany, Georgia, but we do plan to potentially expand in 2 to 3 years to other cities around us, such as Columbus, Georgia, where the crime is really high, Macon, Georgia, where the crime is really high amongst our young Black men. We want to make sure that, we're grounded and actually taking care and actually affecting the children in our neighborhoods, because we can say we open the school and all that goodness, but are we actually affecting the children, or are they changing? So that's my main thing. But yes, we do see ourselves expanding eventually, but we're not in a rush to expand at all.
Excellent. Brother Cardell Brown has another question. It's in regards to the name. How did you come up with the name X for Boys?
Actually, it wasn't Malcolm X. X means unknown. And even in a math equation, X just means unknown. And, our motto is let us make man. So I'm just teaching young boys how to be men. Plus, I just wanted something really catchy, because anytime anybody thinks about that letter X, they always associate it with what we're doing. And so that's kind of my main thing. Plus, our logo is pretty dope, too. I love our logo. It's really awesome. So
we better get some of that merch and advertise for you. Now, I want to go back to what Brother Curtis Muhammad asked. Are there, because you mentioned the Hebrew Israelites, and I don't know if you meant the Nation of Islam or just Muslims in general, but he's asking, are there any Black churches in the community that are supporting you? Great question, Curtis.
So the churches and I have had a little on and off relationship. It was because I made a video probably back in 2018 and 19, and I was kind of talking about our issues going on in Albany, Georgia, because so many people had been being killed, and I kind of got riled up one evening. And I was just like, we got 400 churches in Albany. We don't have a grocery store on the south side of town at all. And I'm just like, these churches are getting paid off of these boys' funerals, etc. I went in because I was just like, it's so much more that
and they didn't receive it well.
Yeah, church, I'll say this about the Christian community, and I'm a Christian as well, but Christians have, fire for everybody except for their pastor, and I'm just like, you won't never hold your pastor accountable. And I have an issue with that. Even my pastor, I said the same thing. I'm just like, we have to hold our pastors accountable. That's absolutely ridiculous. We got these big, lavish, super gigantic, beautiful churches in these rundown, horrible neighborhoods. And I called it all out. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. All you going to churches with, with your Mercedes Benzes and all that goodness and all that. You want to go there and pray for the boys' lives to be saved and pray for this and pray for that. God ain't in the church trying to work on them children. You need to go outside and go work on our boys and our children. The boys killing themselves because of y'all not getting out there and helping them, so that's where I was.
But yes,
that's
supposed to be about
that's where service. I was. Yep, that's where I was with that. I was highly upset that evening. But some churches, have tried to reach out, but lately I hadn't really heard anything from any churches. But it's okay. I don't hold it against. It just is what it is. I don't have any ill feelings toward any churches or anything. Everybody does what they're supposed to do. Like I said, the body has many different parts. Everybody plays their different parts. And so that they're just playing their religious part. And I don't have anything negative, to say about any of our churches.
But can I, and I appreciate you saying that, but let me say something to that. We do, and I like the fact that you're not being sidetracked by their lack of activity. I am a pastor, and I don't think you should apologize for saying what you said. I'm that kind that says the same thing, you know, and more of us need to be called on the carpet for what we are not doing. And so the call is the same thing that you're doing. The church is also called to do. And if it fails to do that same thing that you're doing, then shame on the church, right? Shame on the church that is not doing anything to save the young men and only standing over coffins and mourning with mothers, you know, who've lost their children. Shame on them. Are you serious? 400 churches? Are you serious?
We have 400 churches. Nope. We have churches on that side of town, and I've said before, I'm like, why don't y'all, with these big old churches, y'all good at fundraising, why don't y'all get together a fund? And it's a grocery store, it's an old grocery store building over there, but it's not open. I'm just like, why don't y'all just get together, buy some land to go grow some food, and put some produce in those stores? Then you could hire people that, you know, to work on those farms, etc. I'm just like, we could make this work, you know. Then y'all could even get you to can some of your food. Then y'all could have your own canned goods, anything. I'm just, you know, coming up with ideas when I was on
your mind is in
live.
the right place.
But you know, I just stopped focusing on what other people weren't doing. I just decided to do what I could do.
Yeah.
You know,
it
just is what it is.
What it boils down to.
That's great.
I do want to say something before we go, and that's to everyone who's watching. Don't compare this young man to Dr. Umar Johnson. Don't compare him to other people out there in the activism arena, political arena, because that's an unfortunate pattern that we've fallen into as Black people. We always got to pit each other against each other. You know what I'm saying? We, just as this young man said, that the body has many parts. We all have a different role that we can play. So I commend you for what you are doing. You have my support, and I'm pretty sure you have the support of all the people that are watching here today. And one thing I love about this, we didn't even really talk about that interview with Roland Martin and none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That became the
catalyst for this,
the stepping stool or whatever to get to where you are now, and that's fine. But I do want to say, I saw you, you know, you've been telling people, you know, leave Mr. Roland alone, leave him alone. I get it, but we have to also understand something as well. Sometimes, whether it be purposeful or unwittingly, some of us may act as gatekeepers and prevent us from doing what we really need to do as a community. And when that happens, those people need to be called out. And Roland Martin is not exempt from that. So whatever he's getting as a result of that interview with you, brother, let me tell you something. Yep. That's well-deserved, and that don't got nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with him.
When I said leave him alone, I had just got off of that video, and he had told somebody that was an idiot for donating to my program. I said, brother, I'm just let you get all the flack that you can get, then, and I ain't got to say nothing.
Call me an idiot. Everybody
go ahead and do your thing. Yep.
Yeah, we shouldn't shield each other from accountability. That's basically what the point it is, because that's how we actually build each other up, by saying, yo, listen, your slip is hanging. Come on, get it together. So that's absolutely what we need to do.
Let me say this before we go. One of my pastor friends is in the comments, and he was listening to our conversation right there about the church. And I'm just going to loop this into Curtis's comment that Albany only has a population of about 77,000. And so when you think about 400 churches in a community that small, we know that there may be some manipulation of spiritual things going on there, because if there's a lack of a store, a supermarket, you know, on a side of town for people to get nourishment, and they have to go for any distance, something is wrong. And they may not be very familiar with the Acts 4 church, where everybody sold everything they had so that everybody else could have. Right. And so they may need this lesson in your example. But my brother, Pastor Furman, said a lot of times you don't get the support from the church because it's not the idea doesn't originate with them. Now, like you're paving a way now. So others may want to join you and now.
Follow,
and follow. And that's where, to me, it comes in. Everybody got a part to play. Yeah. But the church wants to leverage its authority in the community, or the authority that it once had, that was so much broader, by doing things, but they really need to get behind people like you who are actually doing it and join forces with you. And so you're getting a lot of support. I am also pledging to support you. I'm seeing the support in the chat also for you. But let's put our money where our
let me see you pledge support to this brother in the chat, please. I need to see that. I need to see that support.
Yep. Let's go on and do this.
So this young man has the fortitude, the tenacity, and the courage of the ancestors. Let me tell you something. This is what we need to see in our young people, and I am excited by it, and I'm going to go hard to support you, brother. And
I definitely appreciate it. Yes, sir.
So you remain humble, you remain driven, and don't allow yourself to be discouraged by any of the nonsense that is sure to follow, because you know how social media can get, bro.
Absolutely. No worries. I just, again, continue doing the work. Absolutely.
That's right. All right. And so I guess I'll let you close it out, Dr. Deb, and just hang with us for like 1 minute, and we'll see you in the green room.
Yes, sir.
I'm loving the support you all are giving. Hey, Pastor Gooding, another good brother. All of you are giving. I was trying to do it, and I put his I was trying to do it while we were on the air, but Tony knows, and most of you know, I'm good. My word is my bond. I am going to support him as soon as we get off, but I do want you all to support him too with whatever is on your heart. Let's show some New York love if you are in New York.
That's right.
And next time, you can't come to New York without coming to the Boogie Down, because guess what? You really haven't been to New York if you don't come to the Boogie Down Bronx. Am I right, Bronx? Am I right? Yep, we're right. Yeah. So listen, I have enjoyed, Tony, doing this crossover platform with you tonight.
Yeah, it's been great.
With King Randall the First. I am so happy that we've done this and that you brought this to our attention in the community town hall. King Randall, please become a friend of both platforms. You can come back as you make progress. Look, especially when Rihanna gets down there, let us know, and we'll come, we'll come through with an interview, a pre-interview. But no, seriously, we want to be seen as your partners in doing this work. And if you need us, we are available to you to support you and the young man. I see such great things coming, and we look forward to where God is leading you, and we ask God to bless you. Would you like to say anything before we leave?
Sure. Yeah, I have a quote I always say every time I get off an interview. It's from our local rapper. His name is Cantrell. One of his quotes, it says he says that obstacles are only optical illusions. They're not really there. Jump high anyway. Jump high just in case.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, and he's still bringing his hood with him, bringing the neighborhood with him.
That's the second time I've heard you shout out Cantrell, and you've probably done it many more times. So let's look out for brother Cantrell too, to blow up everybody.
Yeah, you'll hear his music whenever we drop our video for our new school. When we do our promotional video for it, it'll be his music will be in the background.
Awesome.
Wonderful. I did the same thing with my movie. I made sure that I involved a lot of people from my community in that. We got to practice group economics. We have to practice these models where we bring our community together to build and get what we want. So we thank you once again for joining us, and everybody else, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again very soon. Hold on 1 second for the green room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night, everybody.